Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Louise, and if you're new here, I run the Life with Scoliosis blog and YouTube channel where I blog and vlog about my life and experiences of living with scoliosis. I aim to upload videos once or twice a month all about my life with scoliosis and scoliosis in general. So if that's a topic that you're interested in, then please feel free to subscribe, as it would really help me out a lot. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the strange side effects that I've experienced as a result of my scoliosis. If you're interested in hearing more about the general symptoms of scoliosis and the common symptoms of scoliosis, I've already done a video on that topic, so feel free to go and check that out. So for those of you who may not know what scoliosis is, I have done a video all about what is scoliosis. But essentially, scoliosis is a curvature of the spine, and in my case I had a very severe case of scoliosis and I underwent spinal fusion surgery about 12 years ago now to correct my scoliosis. So my spine is now fused from T3 to L3, which is pretty much the whole spine apart from 3 discs at the bottom. I still have scoliosis because my scoliosis was fairly severe. It was straightened, but it's not fully straight, so I still have scoliosis and a fused spine now. So just to give you some context about the video and to explain some of the symptoms that I still get from my scoliosis. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 random symptoms that I've had as a result of my scoliosis. So these things that I'm going to talk about may not be applicable to everybody that has scoliosis. The thing is with scoliosis is every case is completely different, and the symptoms and side effects will depend on how severe the curve is, where the scoliosis curve is located, and whether or not the person has had corrective surgery or not. So as always, these are my experiences, and just because I've had these side effects doesn't mean that everybody with scoliosis will have the same side effects. I wanted to talk about these things because scoliosis, for me anyway, causes a lot of random symptoms and side effects that most people probably wouldn't really think about. The reason is because scoliosis affects the whole body, and a lot of people think that scoliosis is just a back condition, but it really isn't, and it can affect the whole body. If you have scoliosis and you can relate to anything that I talk about in this video, or if you have any strange or random symptoms that are associated with your scoliosis, then please let me know in the comments. I'd really love to hear from you, and I think it really helps for all of us with scoliosis to share our experiences so that we can help and support each other. So let's get into it. These are my 5 random side effects of scoliosis. So the first random side effect of scoliosis is loss of height. This obviously depends on the severity of the scoliosis, but in severe cases of scoliosis like mine, it can result in quite a reduction in height. So I was quite devastated when I realised that I was meant to be taller. So when I was first diagnosed, my scoliosis was in an S shape. So I had 2 curves that kind of balanced themselves out, and they were, as I said before, fairly severe. And at the time I was around 5'3" when I was diagnosed, and I always thought that that was the height that I was. However, I always remember when I was a teenager, before I had my scoliosis surgery, that my body always seemed shorter compared to my legs and my arms. So I've got fairly long legs in proportion to my body and fairly long arms as well. So when I used to carry shopping bags and things like that, sometimes they would drag on the floor, and I feel like it's because my torso should have been taller, so my arms should have been higher. So it's just little things like that that you notice that you wouldn't really think about unless you have scoliosis. So after my surgery, I actually grew by about 2 inches. So I'm now 5'5", and that was really strange. I remember coming home from the hospital and noticing that all of the kitchen surfaces and the sink, everything looked lower, and it was just really strange to actually grow overnight. And just it's just a really strange experience. That's something that I didn't really expect or didn't really think about before I had my surgery. But yeah, I did grow, but I'm still meant to be taller. So my mum is 5'7", and I do feel like that's the height that I was meant to be. But I'm a lot closer to it than I was. But sometimes it is a little bit gutting to think, oh, I could have been taller. So the next random side effect of scoliosis for me is because my rib cage is twisted slightly, it makes my chest look uneven. So basically it makes it look like I have one boob slightly smaller than the other. And this is something that I used to get really self-conscious about, and it means that bras just never fit me, especially on one side. There's always one side that's a bit gappy. Over the years, I've just kind of become less bothered by it. I tend to get around it by wearing padded bras and wearing more padding on one side, or sometimes I'll wear sports bras just because they're more comfortable, and I run a lot as well, so it just makes sense. But yeah, that's something that you probably wouldn't really think about unless you have scoliosis, but it's something that I definitely have noticed and been self-conscious about over the years. Another side effect that the rib rotation issue causes is that I have ribs that stick out on one side but not on the other side. That's improved a lot since my surgery, but it means that sometimes it's uncomfortable to sit on certain chairs and things like that, especially on this side because the ribs are more pronounced on this side. So if I'm on a hard chair or something like that, it can be quite uncomfortable, and I tend to get around it by just taking a cushion everywhere I go and popping that behind me, and that's just kind of second nature to me now. I also have a similar issue with my shoulders. So this shoulder is slightly higher than this one, which I'm not sure if it's that obvious now. It has improved since I've had surgery, but it's still slightly higher, which day to day doesn't really affect me that much. It's just that it can result in like bra straps, like this bra strap it does fall down quite a lot. So, you know, sometimes I'll end up like this, and it's just a little bit annoying. And certain tops, the strap just falls down quite a lot, and it's just annoying more than anything else. But it's one of them things that unless you have scoliosis, it's something that you would just never think about. But for me, it's kind of normal, and I just make sure that I tighten this side up more than this side. And it's just something that I've gotten used to now over the years and I don't really think about. But yeah, it's just like a slight annoyance really. So the third random side effect that I get with my scoliosis is random electric shock type sensations. I'm not sure how common these are in scoliosis, but I get them quite a lot, just like random, sharp. It's almost like an electric shock, and I think it's nerve pain. So I will get random electric shock sensations, normally in my back or my shoulders. I've had them pretty much all my life, and I also get sometimes just random tingling, like it's always in my back and my shoulder, and it just tingles for no reason. And I think it's due to the spine being curved and compressed and the nerves, and it could also be a result of because I've had scoliosis surgery. I don't know, but sometimes I will just be literally minding my own business, doing something, not really thinking about my back, and then I'll get like a sudden electric shock sensation in my back normally, and it just feels a bit strange. But again, it's one of those things that I literally, when it happens, I just don't even think about it because it happens. I'm used to it, so it'll just happen and I'll just kind of not really worry about it. And I do suffer with anxiety, I do worry about a lot of health things, but when it comes to things like this, I'm just kind of, oh, it's that again, I'm used to it. So yeah, but it's just really weird. So if you have scoliosis, like, let me know if you get random nerve sensations like that, because I'd like to hope that I'm not the only one. Now, the fourth random side effect that I get of my scoliosis is numbness. Now, numbness is not, it doesn't mean that everybody with scoliosis has numbness. It's just that I suffer with it. My back is completely numb, and that's because I've had scoliosis surgery. So during the surgery, the nerves were cut through, and they've just, ever since my surgery, my back has been pretty much numb. Day to day, I don't really notice it. Again, it's just one of those things that for me is normal now. But I do have, again, weird sensations in my back. So for example, because of the numbness, I will get sometimes like an itch under my skin on my back, and because the skin is numb, I can't itch it, and it's the most frustrating thing ever. And when it happens, there's not really much that I can do about it, and it's just so weird. So that's another random thing that I get, and that's more due to the, I think, the scoliosis surgery than the scoliosis itself, I think. But it's just the fact that my back is numb and I get like the urge to itch under my skin and I can't do it, and it's just horrible. So if you suffer with that, please let me know, because I don't know what to do to help it when it happens, and it normally just passes by itself, but it's just really weird. So the final random side effect of my scoliosis is an uneven waist. So I have basically one side of my waist is straight and the other side is more curved. So that's because my spine isn't straight, but also my ribs aren't straight either, so it creates the uneven waist. Now, since my surgery, it's not as bad as it was, but that's something, again, that is something that you wouldn't probably think about unless you have scoliosis. So, you know, it just goes to show scoliosis it's not just a back condition, it affects the whole body, it affects the nerves, it affects everything. And severe cases of scoliosis can have other side effects. So for example, it can affect the lungs. If it's really bad, the curve can cause breathing issues and heart issues. It can also cause issues with leg length. So look, you can have one leg higher than the other. There's so many different things that it can cause that people don't really realise. So in my case, it's mainly my upper spine that's been affected, so my ribs. But I hope you found this video interesting. I wanted to make it just to show that scoliosis can affect more than just the spine, and it can have a knock-on effect and cause many different side effects that a lot of people don't know about or realise. So if you've enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comments, and if you have any random side effects as a result of your scoliosis, please let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.